Well, hello from Porthcawl. Well, last night I put a question to the robots of AI, and that question was what to do in Porthcawl in a day. So in this video, I will go through what the machine suggested. But first, my morning coffee with this bunch. Do you know anything about AI, artificial intelligence? Typical, the sun has gone in. Hopefully it'll come out again soon. Anyway, I'll make a start. I put the question in, what to do in Porthcawl in a day. And the AI, I'm using ChatGPT, that's a mouthful. And it came back with an introduction first. Porthcawl is a beautiful coastal town located in South Wales. If you have only one day to explore Porthcawl, here are some ideas for things to do. Number one, visit the beach. The tide's coming in, so I better be quick. Porthcawl has several beautiful beaches, including Rest Bay and Trecker Bay. Spend some time walking along the shoreline or sunbathing on the sand. Well, I think it's a bit nippy for that. Let's go and have a look at some of the beaches. But the tide's wrong, the tide's coming in. So what I may do in that, I may come back to number one and show you the beaches when the tide goes out later this afternoon. Number two, go surfing. Well, that's a bit cold for me as well. But let's go to Coney Beach and see if anybody is surfing at the moment. So number two again, go surfing. And yes, the sun's coming out. I'm currently on Coney Beach and the AI told me go surfing. If you're a surfer, Porthcawl is a great place to catch some waves. There are several surf schools in the area that offer lessons and equipment rentals. That's true. It's a bit quiet, it's early than Monday morning and we're still in March, so we're still a bit nippy. There's a few surfers out and the tide's coming in. Oh my God. Well, that was close. I nearly got wet. The tide along this stretch of coast does come in quite fast. Anyway, just to recap before I got wet, go surfing. So far, the AI has been okay. There are surf rental places on this beach, Coney Beach, and there's one up on Rest Bay, rental and lessons. It's been a high tide in the last few days and there has been big waves, but it's calming down at the moment. So moving on to number three, visit the Porthcawl Lighthouse. That's just over there at the entrance to the harbour. The weather is all over the place today. It was cloudy, now we've got bright sunlight. So over there is number three on the list, visit the Porthcawl Lighthouse. So I hope you can see it because it's directly into the sun. And it says the Porthcawl Lighthouse is located at the end of a long pier and offers great views of the town and the coast. Well, there it is there, here's the pier. When I was doing a practice run with the AI, it did say go for a tour of the Porthcawl Lighthouse. Well, there's not much to see really. So, a bit of history about the place. It dates from the 1860s. The original top was replaced. It was damaged in a storm in 1911. And it used to run on gas and wasn't converted to electricity until 1997. By the way, they're still doing construction work on the pier. I don't know how the fisherman's at the end. It should be opening soon. They've taken years. They have taken years to do it. But it should be open this summer. So that's Porthcawl Pier. I think the next item we have to go down to Newton Beach. Number 4. This is where the AI goes slightly off, I think. It says, explore the Heritage Coast Centre. The Heritage Coast Centre is a great place to learn about the local marine life and coastal environments. There are interactive exhibits and aquariums to explore. Well, the Heritage Coast itself. It is a pretty stretch of coastline which runs from here to the east of Porthcawl, Newton Bay, for 14 miles through the Vale of Glamorgan to Aberthaw. But the problem with the AI suggestion, Dunraven Bay, where the centre is about 20-25 minutes drive away. It's nowhere near Porthcawl. As the crow flies, it's just over there, but you have to go all the way around. So that's a bit off. And when you get there, it'll be closed. All the times I've been to Dunraven Bay, it's never been open. I think they only open it by appointment. I don't know what's in there. I don't know if they've got aquariums and things like that. So that's a bit wrong. Anyway, the coast itself is definitely worth a visit. But as part of a trip to Porthcawl, it's a bit far. But what I would do is come down to Newton Bay and walk this part along to Merthyr Mawr Dunes. That's a good walk. So that's the first sort of mistake on the AI, but not too bad. Dunraven Bay, you may recognise it. It's been used in Doctor Who, if you're a Doctor Who fan. It was Bad Wolf Bay, as well as a number of other locations. And I did make a video about it quite a few years ago, and I'll link that below. Also, the walk itself from Porthcawl to Aberthaw, I did that last summer, and I'll link that below as well. It's a nice walk. So I ended up in the Blue Anchor pub, which I've also made a video about. So there's 3 plugs there. 3. What does the AI say next? Number 5, walk along the promenade. So let's go back to town and Porthcawl Promenade. Let's go. Porthcawl's noisy. Porthcawl's noisy today. Every time I get the camera out, now that's started, whatever that is, and they're digging it behind me. I'll come back to you in a minute. I'll start again. Number 5, walk along the promenade. Porthcawl's promenade offers beautiful views of the coastline, and it is a great place to take a leisurely stroll. If you don't mind the noise today. So number 5, Porthcawl Promenade. And it's where I come every morning to have my morning coffee, as you saw at the start. Right, at number 6, we've got play golf. Porthcawl has several excellent golf courses, including the Royal Porthcawl Golf Club, which has hosted many major tournaments. Well, that's correct. And I think it's hosted the Senior Open Championship twice, and it's hosting it again in July, I think, this year, 2023. Also, a young Tiger Woods has played here in 1995, and apparently he lost his ball. The history of the place. Well, it was formed in 1891 on a site on Loch's Common, but moved to this location on Rest Bay in 1895. And it became Royal Porthcawl back in 1909 when King Edward VII played here. Well, the AI is correct in saying Porthcawl has some good golf courses. You've got this one, the Royal Porthcawl, and just over there, the Pal and Kenfig. But would you include it on a list of things to do on a day out at Porthcawl? Like you come down, play on the beach, go surfing, have some chips. Would you come along to the Royal Porthcawl for a quick round of golf? Maybe not. Anyway, let's move on. That was number 6, on to number 7. So at number 7, visit the Grand Pavilion over there. The Porthcawl Grand Pavilion is a historic theatre that hosts a variety of shows and events throughout the year. That's correct, because we've been a couple of times this year to the Comedy Club. They're also doing free films at the moment as well. At the end of the year, they have the pantomime, and also the schools use it for the school show. Marty Pello's there in a few months, remember Marty Pello? And Lulu, she's coming. The history of the place, well, it was built in 1932, and I don't know if you saw earlier a mural over by the pier of Paul Robeson. He was the black actor, activist and singer, and he had close ties with the miners in the Welsh valleys, and he wanted to address them in the 1957 miners' Eisteddfod. But at the time, America was very, anti-communist, anti-activism, so he wasn't allowed to leave the country. But secretly, they arranged for a telephone link-up from him to the pavilion, and he addressed the miners in the 1957 miners' Eisteddfod. Also, I mentioned the school plays. Well, back in the 80s, Rob Brydon and Ruth Jones first performed together in that theatre for a Porthcawl comp production. And that was long before they reunited for Gavin and Stacey. So that's Porthcawl Grand Pavilion. This is a good one, number 8. Enjoy fish and chips. Porthcawl is known for its delicious fish and chips, so be sure to stop by one of the local chippies for a tasty meal. And that's exactly what I'm going to do now. Maybe just chips though. And a curry sauce, I don't know. Let's get some chips. So, which chippy? I'm in town, so there's 2 to choose from. Finnegan's in Wells Street and the Boathouse on the seafront. I think I'll try the Boathouse because I haven't been there for a few months. By the way, if you haven't seen our chip review videos, a few years ago we went to every chip shop in Porthcawl, and I'll link those below as well. Chips and a curry sauce without Mel. Wait till she finds out. Actually nice chips, a nice curry sauce as well. Anyway, I'm going to get on with eating these, and I'll see you after my lunch. I must admit they were nice chips, so I've come for a little walk to work off the grease. After the list of 8 things, the AI rounds off its ideas with this. These are just a few ideas for things to do in Porthcawl in a day. With its beautiful coastline, rich history and great food, there's plenty to see and do in this charming Welsh town. Well, how do you think that went? Personally, I think the AI wasn't that far off the mark. It was a bit of fun. I think it'll be a few years yet before the machines rise up and enslave us all. A couple of things it missed out. I think Porthcawl Museum it didn't mention. The fairground, Griffin Park, but generally it was okay. And if you want to find out more about some of the places, check out the links in the description below, and there's some videos coming up at the end as well. Anyway, join me next time for another video, unless I've been replaced by a machine myself. It'll probably be better. Bye.